Hey, I'm Vicky, Dennis's wife. Want to help creators grow without spending a dime? Hit that like button. It tells the algorithm this content matters. Drop a quick comment, even an emoji works, and boom, more people see it. And if you really love what you see, follow us. Your tiny tap makes a huge impact.
Hey, that's right, you guys. I just want to welcome you to the live stream. Today, we are going to be talking about signs of the end times. I mean, there is so much going on right now. I thought that that would be a good way to kind of bring up a lot of it, right? Amen. But supporting us here, it can go a long ways just by hitting that like, sharing this live. Push it out to your friends because they need to know the signs of the times as well, right? Also, we need to push the new website we have where we are selling merch, you guys. I haven't been seeing it below the lives, but in all my shorts and my long form videos, they are there. So I don't know if it's showing you the shop down there or not right now. If so, click something and check out what we have over there. If not, there is a link in the description. Here's the bridegroom, everyone. Hey, I have some exciting news to announce. October the 6th, that's the first Monday of October, we have a website that will be launching. And what is it going to be? It's going to be shirts, hats, aprons, thermoses, coffee cups, and coming really soon, there'll be these cute little puppy dogs and teddy bears that you can get too. All with designs that we have made ourselves. Take a look. I'm wearing it today. Look, hey. And the first 2 weeks, there'll be a 25% off everything, you guys. Wow! 25% off everything! We're going crazy here. That's right. There's a 25% off everything right now, you guys. Look, here's one of the hats. Although this isn't one of the shirts. I bought this at Walmart. Don't think this is on there. But here's one of the hats. Check it out. I really like this hat. And this week I uploaded. It's the same thing, but the little emblem's white here for you guys who want to get it on the black hat. But I also had to change the little... It has our little logo here on the side. Oops. I had to change that because, I'm black. The little guy is black. So, but anyways, I did just upload a new hat on there for you guys. But the 25% off does end this Sunday. And I don't want any of you guys to miss out. But we do have a lot to get into today because there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on and we need to talk about it. And I think a lot of it are signs of the end times. We'll get into Matthew 24, where Jesus kind of compares it to being like birth pains. The idea is that, hey, these things will start out slow, but then they'll just start coming so fast. And then before you're done with the other one, here comes another. Then before you're done with them two, here comes another until the baby's born, right? Until the end times. And it's kind of getting to where it's like, man, we can't get over one thing before something else comes up. Isn't that exactly what the Lord said? Isn't it? Now, I'm not trying to date set. There was a guy on social media not too long ago, some prophet from Africa, who had everyone in a stir saying that he was God, got a word from the Lord. And you get this around this time every year because it is Yom Kippur. That's the Feast of Trumpets. And because of eschatology, everyone thinks that the Lord's going to come back or the rapture will happen depending on your type of eschatology. Here at the MNC, we are not pre-trib. We are more like a, not even really mid-trib, more like a 3/4 trib or something like that. We don't think it's a post-trib either. But anyways, that's not the point of this. We want to talk about the signs, because even Paul says, hey, you should, I mean, Jesus says, hey, you should keep an eye out. You can tell the weather by looking at signs, but you can't tell the times. So we are going to get into some of the signs. I wanted to start out with Luke 21, more specifically 25. There will be signs in the sun and the moon and stars, and on the earth dismay among the nations, bewildered by the roaring of the seas and the surging of the waves. Now, there is an uptick in like hurricanes and tornadoes. But later on, there's another passage where Jesus talks about earthquakes. We'll get more into that then. But I wanted to talk about the signs of in the sun and the moon, because, you know, not that long ago, not that long ago, I think it was like around the time during Trump's first administration. So it had to be 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. There were the 4 blood moons. I remember John Hagee wrote a book called The 4 Blood Moons. I never read it. But anyways, you had the 4 blood moons. There was the sign of the woman in the sky, you know, and all that stuff. And then the eclipses, putting an X over, you know, the United States. And every time in history that has ever happened to a country, it was like not long after they stopped being a country. Just saying. Anyways, but signs in the sky, we have something new. We have this new 3-eye atlas. This is an interstellar comet, asteroid, whatever you want to call it. Interstellar means it didn't come from our universe. It came from way out, and it's coming through, and I think it's supposed to get the closest to Earth on the 29th. Let's read. What's the latest on interstellar object 3-eye atlas, Mars Jupiter mission to observe the comet? This is from MSN, you guys. That's right. Not too long ago, it went right by Mars. And so all these space programs from all the different countries turn their cameras toward it. And I was going to show some of them, but a lot of them ain't too good. There was some I saw, at least on TikTok. I don't know how much you want to trust that, but there were some saying that it had stopped over Mars. I don't know how much I believe that. I just thought I'd let you know. The people saying that are ones trying to say that this 3-eye atlas isn't a comet or an asteroid, but an alien spaceship. I did do a TikTok live, but anyways. We don't believe in aliens here at the MNC, and the reason why is because Eve, Scripture is very clear. Eve is the mother of all. So if there is alien life out there, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, Eve would have to be their mother. Now, make that make sense. Make that make sense? Yeah? All right. Well, an interstellar visitor to our solar system known as 3-eye atlas has captivated the public for months, and it's not hard to see why. For one, it's incredibly rare to find any kind of space object originating from a star that's not our sun to be spotted visiting Earth's cosmic neighborhood. And for another, such as uncommon event, has even a way to plenty. Event has given way to plenty of wild theories. As I mentioned, the alien thing. I think that's wild, crazy, and about just what the object could be. Includes an infamous one postulating that it could be an alien spaceship. But for scientists around the world, the discovery of 3-eye atlas is making a short journey into and out of our solar system has sparked an urgency to get a closer look at an object that could soon vanish from our sight. Yes, now I do agree. We need to get as much data from this thing because we'll learn so much from it, because this is something from outside of our solar system coming in. Now, I do want to throw it back to, hey, scripture does talk about, God throwing like rocks as big as mountains at the earth. There's I had it in my head just a minute ago. The poisonous mountain, wormwood. I don't know why that ran out of my head. So it does kind of ring back to that, Now, this is the third asteroid from outside of our universe that we have observed. And so with, signs in the sun, moon, and stars, I thought this was prudent. Now we're going to go on because, like I said, we do. Hey, hello, Don. Our #1 fan is in the comments. Hold on a minute, you guys. Let me, if I can get my mouse over here. Let's see here. I'm going to say hi, Don, in the comments. Hey, if you become a member, I make it a point when I see a member's comment, I try to at least read it or respond to it. If you don't want to become a member, you can do a super chat. I also have super chats. It's the little money symbol next there. And those I will make it a point to comment on and respond to. I had one from a Muslim guy last week, right at the end of my life, talking about, Allah's going to put you under Sharia law. Yeah, good luck with that, you guys. But this next one, I wanted to go to Revelation 13. Once again, we are talking about the signs of the times, you guys. How do we know how close we are to the return of Jesus, to him coming and setting up his millennium kingdom and reigning here on the earth for 1,000 years? Boy, how glorious and great would that be, right? I know I can't wait. But let's read this next passage. And the second beast required all people, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of its name. Here is a call for wisdom. Let the one who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and that number is 666. Woo! Woo! Hey, now, I've talked about this passage before, and I have mentioned that over in Sweden, they have these computer chips. That's not the news story we're going to read. But they have these computer chips that they'll implant under your skin. And the idea is so you can log into your computer, you can unlock the door to your house, you can start your car, and it's all done through these microchips implanted. But the crazy thing is that the little battery inside these tiny little implants, the way they recharge and get power is from body heat. And the two places on the body that produce enough heat to make these things work are your hands and your head. Boy, doesn't that sound just like what this said, right? Because I know for thousands of years, people were wondering, well, how would a woman get a tattoo on her forehead, right? No woman would get a tattoo on her forehead. I even saw a movie where they had the women getting tattoos and stuff. But it is important that it is a chip implanted, because this word for, where is it at? Mark on their right hand, this mark word, the word in Greek actually means like an etching. It's not like something put on or printed on. It is etched into the skin. And so I find that very key. But they also just did this. This is why I wanted to bring it up. This here. What is the plan for digital ID and will they be mandatory? Yeah, that's because the UK just did something, you guys. The government has announced plans to introduce a digital ID system across the UK, with Prime Minister Sir Starmer, I think I pronounced that right, Starmer, saying it will ensure the country's borders are more secure. The IDs will not have to be carried day to day, but they will be compulsory for anyone wanting to work. The government says the scheme will be rolled out by the end of the parliament, meaning before the next general election, which by law must be held no later than August 2029. Now, you know, here we in the States, we have what's called the Real ID. I guess this is kind of similar on par with that. So it's not like we haven't already done it here. If I think it was like, I want to say 5, 7, 8 years ago, America started rolling out this Real ID. And so if you've gotten a new ID since then, you've already got the Real ID. And so this is very similar. And here in the States, you can't get a job without an ID. I mean, I guess you could. It'd be very hard. Hey, speaking of that, I did see a story earlier this week where a truck driver was arrested in Florida. He was, come to find out, an illegal immigrant. But New York had actually issued him a CDL driver's license, and under the name, it said no name given. Well, you know, our Real IDs are working very well here, ain't they? But that is very... Now, our main passage, we're going to move on, because like I said, we have a lot to talk about today. Our main passage for today is going to be from Matthew 24, where Jesus gives, you know, the apostles and the disciples ask Jesus, well, what will be the signs of your coming? And he gives a little list. And so we're going to go through it, and we're going to take a look at things going on now. And that's the kind of whole point of this, my 2 cents, is for me to help you guys get thinking more biblically about things going on in the world. When you see something, it should make your mind rotate. Okay, well, what does the Bible say about that? Right? And so that's the goal here, because we want to change culture, which is also why I have been I haven't worked on it much this week, but I am working on a animated series I'm going to call the book of if I can talk, the Book of Luke. And it's going to be focused on Luke getting the story, going around, following the apostles, following Paul, talking to people to get the story of the book of Acts. You know, the Acts of the Apostles. It's going to be taking a look at him and how he went around and did that. So look for that coming. Now, it's probably not going to be anytime soon. You know, doing a cartoon takes a while, but I'm rambling. We need to get on because we have a lot to talk about. So Jesus answered, see to it that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Christ, and will deceive many. That's right. You know, there's been many false messiahs. I heard of one that kind of popped up in Africa not too long ago. There was one in Israel. Everyone was calling the Messiah. There was the Branch Davidian, David Koresh. I think that's his name, David something. Yeah, David Koresh. He was here in my home state of Texas, in Waco. I talked about that last week. So that's not a new thing, but the idea once again is that if you read, we'll read the rest of this, but the idea is birth pains. So you'll start seeing it more and more. But we'll read the whole thing, and then we'll start getting into the news passages. See to it that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Christ, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, and see to it that you are not alarmed. These things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginnings of birth pains. See? So the idea is that these things are supposed to start out slow, and then they'll start coming so quick that before you can get done dealing with the first one, the next one's coming. Before you finish with that one, the next one's coming. It's just until they're just nonstop. There will be, then they will deliver you over to be persecuted and killed, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name. At that time, many will fall away and will betray and hate one another, and many false prophets will arise and deceive many. Just like, hey, I always found it interesting that he said this one twice. He says that one twice. At that time, many will fall away and will betray and hate one another. Many false prophets will arise and deceive many. Because of the multiplication of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, but the one who perseveres to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Amen. Amen. So let's go back to this false prophets. This is the latest one that has come up. He has this 43-second little promo. He's got, look at this, a little fundraiser going on over here. But this is the latest guy who has come forward calling himself the Messiah.
I am Abdullah, the successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam. Muslims, I am Abdullah, and I invite you to the obedience of the will of the Prophet Muhammad. I am Abdullah.
Yes, now you see this guy. He's apparently a Islamic, and he calls himself Abdullah. I don't know what the point of that behind that is. Apparently, that's some kind of title. Maybe one of you guys could look it up. Put it in the comments for everybody. I don't know what Abdullah means, but he's also claiming to be like not just like their Mahdi. They call it the Mahdi, which is their version of the Messiah. But he's also claiming to be the Christian Messiah and the Jewish Messiah. Doesn't that sound like a one world religion to you? Just saying. But I also thought that would be that this topic would also be a good time to bring up how prosperity preachers have distorted and perverted the gospel. This is from the Harbinger's Daily. Now, I know that prosperity preachers get a lot of bad rap. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Anyways, we live in a time when the line between ministry and business has been increasingly blurred. From lavish lifestyles to questionable financial practices, many ask, is this what Jesus intended when he called us to serve? An issue has raised eyebrows and sparked heated debate across congregations. The disturbing trend of so-called shepherds of the flock not serving in ministry for the right reasons. Scripture warns us about the dangers of false teachers and unrepentant sin, emphasizing the importance of discernment and accountability within the body of Christ. That's right. That's enough. That's all I'll read. Now, I know this is kind of like a touchy subject because there's so many of them, but I do have to say that I'm not big on these big mega churches. I'm more into the small church because you can be more of a community. Everybody that's just what I like. And I'm not hating anybody who wants to go to to a big mega church. My family out in Waco, they go to a big, huge mega church. People like that. I'm not hating on you for that. But the important thing is that you don't trust everything that any preacher says. I don't care what church you go to a church that, yes, you do trust the preacher with your soul, because you are trusting him with your soul, but you need to do your due diligence to go and test him. Otherwise, how are you going to know? How are you going to know if he's teaching you bad if you're not reading the Bible for yourself? I want to encourage everyone out there to read the Bible for yourself, and then you will know, right? And you will know when a false Messiah arises, right? Right? All right, let's go on to the next thing that Jesus says. So he said, many will come in my name, claiming I am the Christ, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See to it that you are not alarmed. These things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Now, nation right here is the Greek word ethnos. Ethnos is kind of like it's where we get our English word for ethnicity, right? But back then, it was more about Gentile ethnicity. So, most especially in the context of the Bible in which it was written and who it was written to and stuff. So, we know that this is particularly talking about Gentile nations at war. So, I thought this would be a good time to take a look at this map right here. Look at this. This is all the countries at war right now. Now, when I pulled this up the other day, getting ready for this live, I was a little shocked to see Mexico. Who are they saying Mexico? I tried clicking on it. All it did was bring up their flag. I don't want to look at their flag. But apparently they are at war. I don't know who they're at war with. And of course, you have Russia and Ukraine right here. You have a Colombia. Now, I know India. A lot of people don't know India has been skirmishing with, Pakistan right there. They've been... Trump just, that was like one of the first peace deals. I know he's getting a lot of credit for the Israel and Palestine, but he brokered a peace deal between India and Pakistan right here before that, that not a lot of news stations talked about. But, so, nation against nation, ethnicity against ethnicity. Look at all the things going on in our countries with BLM, Antifa, all the racial things going on in our country. Now, I think back then when the Bible was written, it was more implied toward country against country. That's why I brought this up, because they had a different idea of ethnicity. To them, it was more tied to where you came from, what country, what was your background. Was you from Iran? Was you from China? Was you from Australia? Today, we make it more about the color of your skin. So that's the difference between the ethnos and ethnicity that we have today. But also, Jesus also says, if we go back, he also says, kingdom against kingdom. Now, I don't remember how to pronounce this Greek word, but this Greek word more specifically means royalty against royalty. So not just the kingdoms, but the ruling class of those kingdoms. And so I thought that would be a good reason to bring up this right here, because Trump was just snubbed for the Nobel Prize. They gave it to some Latin woman. And I haven't looked into it, but I hear that after finding out that she won the Nobel, she apparently was actually upset about it and said that she thought it should have gone to Trump. And she didn't know why they were giving it to her. Basically, it's Trump derangement syndrome. That's what they have. But let's read what MSN, or is this BBC has to say. The White House has accused the Nobel Committee of placing politics over peace for awarding its most coveted prize to a Venezuelan pro-democracy activist over President Donald Trump. On Friday, the committee announced Maria I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name. I'm sorry, Maria, would receive the Peace Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people in Venezuela. I haven't actually looked into it, but I hear she's like making a lot of changes. I don't know. Maybe I ought to look into her. Trump has been outspoken about her desires for the award, taking credit for ending several global conflicts. He regularly brought it up, including during his address to the UN General Assembly in September. The Nobel Committee proved they placed politics over peace. The White House communications director Stevens said after the announcement. President Trump will continue making peace deals, ending wars, and saving lives. Joe wrote on X, he has the heart of a humanitarian, and there will never be anyone like him who can move mountains with sheer force of his will. That's right. I'm not like a huge Trump fan, but over Biden or Kamala, I'd take Trump any day. He more aligns with what I want. He has my full support. That's all I'll say about that. Say what you want about me in the comments. All right. So after that, Jesus also says there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. So once again, we need to remember that these things. Oh, also really quick before we move on to that, the kingdoms against kingdoms. Take a look at the Republican and the Democratic Party. All the stuff that's going on there. You got the same thing with the left and the right over in Europe. What is it? The UK just left the European Union. From Brexit, all that. So these are it's the kingdoms against kingdoms. That doesn't absolutely mean it has to be war, right? That's why the rumors of wars and rumors of war, right? Okay. But famines and earthquakes. I thought we could go. I have it somewhere up here. All right. Oh, yeah, that was the story on the Democrats shutting down the government. I was going to read that. But seeing how I missed it, we'll go on then. But, yeah, you know all the stuff going on with the Democrats and the Republicans. It's all about power, you guys. It's all about power, all right? But famines, I wanted to show you, this is pretty much an inflation chart right here. It's showing you how much everything is increased from 2020 to 2024. So in the last 4 years, how much everything is increased. Look, food has gone up almost 25% across the board. Yep, 25%. Now, I need to come back over here, and we will. Now, I also have this chart here for you because the Lord also brought up. I thought I had this up where I could see. You got. Hold on. Give me just a second. And where is it at? It's over here. I must have exited out of it. But anyways, so now, okay. All right. We're professionals here, guys. We're professionals, right? Okay. The total number of earthquakes each decade from 1900 to 2019. Look, I don't know what happened in like the 1960s, but look at that. I mean, it was just a slow tick up, and then all of a sudden in the 1960s, bam! Now, I mean, it skyrockets. It skyrockets up to, look, 2019, 136, what is that? Well, no, that's 1,365,822 earthquakes in 2019. Now, you can make the argument that, hey, it's not that they're increasing, people have made, it's just our ability to track them has improved. And so they're trying to say that, hey, these things have always been there, always been happening, and we're just now getting, but I still think the same thing applies. Me personally, I think the same thing applies, right? All right, let's see here. Now, go back over here, and then we'll go back. And now, they will persecute you They will deliver you over to be persecuted and killed, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name. At that time, many will fall away and betray and hate one another, and many false prophets will arise and deceive many. Once again, he brings that up. So I think that's going to be a very prevalent thing here really soon. Now, also, if you follow us here at the MNC, our eschatology has this here. Not our paychecks. That's right, Don. Not our paychecks, right? Right? Yeah. Well, I don't. Are you talking about that in the context of the government shutdown or the taxes? Because I also did hear they have a new bill coming out where they are going to be trying to do away with payroll taxes on a federal level, get rid of payroll taxes, but they're going to be they're talking about replacing it with a 30% sales tax. I think the sales tax right now is like 8.2575, something like that. And they're talking about jumping it up to 30. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. Someone needs to sit down and do the math on that. I don't know if that would be better or not. Although I do like the idea of not taxing our checks anymore. Thank you for bringing that up, Don. That was a good segue. But let's get back to our passage here, because it says that they will deliver you over to be persecuted and killed. Now, before we get into the story on that, I want to tell everyone that, hey, you can help support us here at the MNC simply by becoming a member.
The bag of chips, I'm not sure about this.
How do I become a member?
So you want to become a member?
Oh, members here? Yet. Let me click here. Yet.
That's great. I'm happy to hear that. Well, here's how you do it. Right below here, you'll see a join button. If you'll click that, it'll pop up this little members option page where you can have the option to choose 2 different tiers. You can become a member of the bridegroom, where you will get access to personal emojis that I have made myself. I'm not that great of an emoji maker, but I didn't make them myself. But you also get these little badges that I also made myself that will tell people that you are a member of the MNC family. And they're even color-coded so that people can tell how long you've been a member of the MNC just by the color. Also, when I see these badges in the chat, like I do here with our good friend here at the MMC, Betty Flick, I will make it a point during the lives to respond to your comment. But if you become a member of the Here's the Bridegroom tier for $3.99, not only do you get access to all of that, but you get videos, personal videos made for members only. And here really soon we're going to be starting member only live streams just for you. So choose your tier and become a member today. Thank you. That's right, guys. You can help support us simply by hitting that join button right below. All right. Hey, I told myself once I get to 5 members, I'll start doing the members only lives. I have 4. I need 1 more, you guys, and I'll start doing live streams just for the members. I'm still in the middle of doing the research for it, but I am preparing a teaching on John Calvin and Calvinism and why I don't believe it. We're going to be taking a deep dive into that. I've just started doing the research. I still have a lot of research to do, and then doing a mock-up and all that for the video. Anyways, You don't need to know all that, but I am preparing that right now while working on a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm so busy here. My biggest problem, you guys, is time. And that is also one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up, if you guys have noticed, there's been this little Opus Clips thing. Hey, man, this is not a paid promo. I started using that. I love it. I love it. It is a big time saver. So if you're a creator or if you're wanting to start creating, it uses AI to bring in your clips and edit them together and and then it gives you a little score on how well it thinks it'll do. Hey, man, you should check out Opus Clips, man. I'm loving it. It's saving me lots of time. The other day I was in here for like an hour and 45 minutes and was able to get 10 shorts. Matter of fact, they're all the shorts that you'll be seeing from last week's live this week came from Opus Clips, man. I was able to do that, get it all uploaded and ready all for the whole week in an hour and 45 minutes. It is a big time saver. So that way I can focus more on making content for you guys and not so much editing. And because my biggest enemy is time. But we are going to get back over here, and we are going to get back because we're coming to a close, you guys. And the last thing I want to talk about is persecution, Christian persecution. You're not hearing a lot of people talk about it, but right now there is a genocide. They want to keep talking about the Israel genocide and the Palestinians, but no one's talking about Nigeria. Once again, I talked about the Sharia law and the Muslim thing coming into my state. These are the Muslims. The Muslims are going in to, they're in the northern part of Nigeria is like all Muslims, and in the southern part is all Christians. And you have all kinds, Catholic, Protestant, evangelical, Orthodox, all them mixed up in the bottom, and they're just going down and slaughtering them to the point of 7,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria this year, groups say. Now, more than 7,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria during the first 220 days of 2025, a civil society watchdog said. This is an average of 35 killings a day. Man, maybe I should say unalivings or something. You know how the algorithm be. Anyways, according to the recent report published by the Nigeria-based human rights NGO, International Society of Civil Liberties and Rules of Law. Now, hey, it's not talked about. Everyone wants to talk about the persecution of other people, but when it comes to Christians, it's like dog whistles. I can't whistle, you guys. I've never been one. I can't. Hey, Todd, tell us in the comments. Can you whistle? I can't whistle. I've never been good at whistling. Anyways, that's not the point of this live. Hey, it's a serious subject, you guys. Christians are the most persecuted around the world, and they have been for a very long time. And I think this is a good time to bring that up. Bring that into the forefront, right? Why don't you take this part of the video and put it out there? Let everyone know that, hey, this is going on. No, you can't either, Don. Oh, man, he can't whistle either. Hey, we need to get you back in for another live. We'll work on that. I am working also on trying to figure out how to get other people in, start doing interviews for you guys as well. But I'm doing it. I'm able to do it. I just don't like the quality. I'm trying to figure out how to do it with better quality. I'm trying to give you guys good quality stuff. But we need to let everyone know that, hey, Christians are the most persecuted people in the world. Hi, I am watching from Argentina in the Caribbean. Do you think the saints will be on the earth during the tribulation? I do. I think it's just like in when the Jews in Egypt were going through the Exodus. They were there. They experienced it. They saw it firsthand, and God protected them. Because in Revelation, it talks about God will bring you through. I know a lot of pre-tribbers think that that's saying, hey, he's going to take you out. They think that's a reference to the rapture. But no, I mean, that is, to me, is more of a thing about bringing you through, protecting you through it. Now, although they did experience some of the plagues, they did have to endure some of that. But I think that's a good thing. It's a way of how God, Proverbs talks all the time about God purifying us. And I think it's a way of God purifying us before the rapture. What do you think about the peace deal that has been signed in the Middle East? Hey, I'm glad that this person brought that up. Thank you for asking that. I am going to be, that is next week's live. We are going to be not Argentina. I'm sorry. But that is going to be my next live, is going to be about the Middle East peace deal. So if you want to find out about that, I haven't had a chance to really look into it. But before I tell you guys my point of view on that, I do want to take a moment and just look into it. Find out I do know there's supposed to be like 20 or 25 parts or points to it. And I just want to find out what they are and find out exactly what's going to happen before I give my side, because I haven't looked into it. But that is going to be next week's live. So please turn back in for that. But I think we'll end here. We've been going for almost 50 minutes, and I want to thank Don for joining us today. Don, we need to get you back in. And I want to thank, number 2. Look, number 1, number 2. Our other member here, Dove's Beating Hearts 2834, for interacting with us. Thank you. And we'll see you guys next week. And as always, remember that I love you. And here's the bridegroom. Here's the bridegroom.